slide, uh, the first topic which I am going to cover today, that is sample size calculation. So what it means. So whenever we have thought that we want to conduct any sort of research, so the first thing which will come in our mind, or the first thing which will come in examiner's mind, the person who is taking your viva, or the person who is sitting in your defense as an evaluator. So the most common question which will be asked by the examiner will be that how you have calculated the sample size. And several times I have met with my students, they used to come to me and they used to ask that, sir, we want to work on so and so, and I have gathered a data of 200 patients, or I have gathered the data of 150 patients. So the most common what I used to ask them, that why 200 or why 150? From where you have thought that 200 patients or 200 participants are sufficient to prove that A is causing B, or what you want, what you are finding in your research, that exact number of the person which you have taken or data you have collected is sufficient. So the most common answer is ki we have referred a previous paper and they have taken a X number of patients or X number of samples in their study, so we have also took the same. So that is not the way. For each and every studies, we have to calculate the sample size differently. And there are different methods to calculate the sample size based upon the type of research, based upon the type of study design, based upon the type of researcher's own hypothesis, that what he is expecting in the research. In previous stage, for example, if I'm talking about 1980s or 1990s till 2020, what scientists used to do, they used to ask that how many number of parameter you want to evaluate. For example, I have seen shown the my SPSS sheet in which I have filled the data of my PhD. There you have seen might be that number of variable in my study was 105. So in previous days, what scientists used to do, they used to do into 10, that number of parameter they want to evaluate. For example, you want to evaluate 10 parameter. So they used to ask that, okay, 100 will be your sample size, or you want to evaluate 20 parameters. For example, one will be your age, second will be your gender, third will be your systolic blood pressure, or if you're working in formulation, then one parameter is your viscosity, second parameter is your disintegration time, third parameter is your surface tension, something like that. Clear? So how many parameter you want to evaluate into 10 we used to do. So that was the previous method, that how when we were not having any particular formulas, or we were not having a software to calculate the sample size. So supervisor used to recommend that number of parameter in the data collection form, that how many parameter we are having in a data collection form into 10 will be the sample size. And this was accepted by most of the journals, most of the universities, or most of the reputed companies. It was acceptable. But now we are not working on this one. We have a different software which we are using to calculate the sample size, and as you can see on the screen, that EPINFO is the one of them, which will recommended by CDSCO, that standard disease that is this is run by WHO only. That what they used to refer, that CDC, actually statistical has referred, but made by CDC, that is Center for Disease Control, and country is Atlanta. They have made, and first it was paid, and after that they have seen that this particular software is having a wide used by the researchers. So what they did, they have made this one into a freeware. Now it is available on internet as a freeware. That means anyone can download either on their mobile, or they have made a separate website for that. So even you can work online. So EPINFO is the one which is not only used to calculate the sample size. That means it is equivalent to the SPSS. For example, you can enter the data, you can create the form. For example, you don't have to make a separate data collection form, and if you want to work smarter, you can create a form. For example, you can make a different variable in the EPINFO. If you go to create form, it will ask you to create. What you can do, you can create a column where you can write age, and there will be one empty column where participant is going to write that what was his age. So it will be like a form only. So it can be shared in the any platform, either on the Android or either in the iPhone. So you can create the form, you can create the survey, or you can create the questionnaire, which will be used to enter the data as well as. So participants can directly enter the data on the machines, either it is your mobile or either it is your system. So once you data has been entered, it will be used for the statistical analysis also. With the EPINFO, you can apply all the sorts of statistical tests which we are going to do with the SPSS or any other statistical software. So the most common use which will be used by the researcher is this one, that is for StatCal. StatCal is the option where it will be used for the sample size calculation for the power or for other parameters. So how to do? You can install the app in your mobile, any platform. If you're working iPhone, you have, then you can take the app from the Apple Store, or either if you're working on a Android platform, then you can download this one from the Play Store, Google Play Store. There you are going to get. So just type EPINFO, you are going to get a particular app. So this is the first page of the app which you are seeing right now, that it will give the multiple option to you. What I recommend, to enter the data, you can use mobile. To calculate the sample size, you can use in a mobile. But if you want to create a form, then it is very difficult to create a form on a mobile platform. So to create the form, I recommend you to use a desktop or your laptop, because multiple things will be there and it is very difficult to do on a mobile. So even different other functions are also you are going to find. For example, you can create a map. Now what is this map? This map, that means we are going to create a heat map. You want to show a particular region of a country where the distribution of the data is not very. Just let me check who is. Okay, no issue. So you can create a map with a particular location, or you want to highlight a particular area. For example, you are going to give a map of India, or you are going to give a map of Europe, and in that map you want to highlight that how many number of participant or population are having on which area, suffering from which disease, that you can create under this option. So I'll not discuss all, I'll go to the topic. So to calculate the sample size, we have to click on the StatCal. So as you click on the StatCal, you are going to get a window of a StatCal. So StatCal will give you what? It will give you multiple options. That what will be the study design of your research. That means either you are doing a population survey, you are doing a cohort study, you are doing a cross-sectional study, you are doing a case control study, or you want to carry out a chi-square for trend. Now this is for the contingency tables, where you have a two different categories, and when only two categories are there, then you can go for this one. So you are seeing here only 8 options on the screen, but if you go to second slide of the StatCal, you are going to get a other option based upon the type of study. So which type of study you are doing, you can click on that. For example, most common will be used by population survey. For example, any person who are conducting a survey, or you want to find out anything, you are going for this one, population survey. So you can see you are going to get a this window for the population survey. And first thing, few things will be asked by the software, that what will be the sample size of your population size of your study. So population size, for example, I want to conduct a survey in my college. I don't want to conduct the survey in Moga city or any other district of Punjab. I want to conduct a survey within the campus, and in my campus 5,000 students are there. So this will be called as capital N. So here I am going to enter 5,000. Now survey of what? For example, I want to find out that how many students are suffering from diabetes, or how many students are smokers. So as per researcher, me, what I expect, that from the different literature I'm going to get a data, and from there I have to write that as per my own hypothesis, that how much population will be suffering, or how many students were smokers. So that can be entered in terms of percentage. For example, I'm going to refer a different research paper which has been published on the same population. For example, if I'm working on my students in my campus, so I want to find any research paper which has been published on the same population, where might be the topic will be different, or might be, or it will be not the same study design, but population should be the same, and what they have quoted. And if they have quoted that percentage of those person or the population was found to be 15%, 20%, 13%, whatever the percentage you're going to get, that you're going to enter. If you're not getting, for example, if you are going to find on literature and you didn't find anything, that you didn't get any paper on the same population, that in that case what you can do, you can add your own numbers. Now what it means own number, that you have to think as a researcher that how much population, how much percentage of the population can be suffered from that particular disease. So what you can do, if my college is located in Moga, so then I'll switch to another, I keep my area broader. So I'll find any research paper which has been published on Moga, because most of the students who are studying in my college belongs to Moga district only. So if I'll find any research paper which has been conducted on the Moga district, what the author has quoted, that either it is 10%, either 20%, that number I'm going to get. For example, we didn't find anything, not either on the college, not either on the district, not either on the state, then it is researcher own hypothesis what he is expecting. For example, he is expecting that in my college most of the students are having a young age, so obviously they will not suffer from the diabetes because it's a geriatric disease, for example, clear. So the population expected population will be not more than 5% or not more than less percent. So that number you have to decide here and you have to enter. So two things you have added. First, the number, that how much population size is there in that area where you want to conduct a survey, and what will be the expected frequency as per researcher or as per the literature. After that, what is the confidence limit? Now here confidence limit is different, which I have taught you in the previous days. We used to call confidence interval. So it is the same thing. That means confidence interval has been written on this side, and sample size we have got this side. So as you will add confidence limit 6%, so automatically your confidence interval will become 94, because these two should be equivalent to 100. So in front of 94, you have to see what is the exact number. As you can see, we have got 80%, 90%, and most common confidence limit will be used by researcher, or in academic research it will be 5%. So instead of 6, for example, we have added 5. That 5% is the margin of error. We can say that margin of error is 5%, and the confidence interval of the study is 95. So both are equivalent to 100. These both are equivalent to 100. So in front of this 95, we have to see that what number has been given. So that number will be called as the sample size of the study, or we used to call as a small n. So how this 94 has been calculated, this we are going to study today. For example, as the confidence level of the study is going to increase, the sample size is also going to increase, but margin of error is going to reduce. As you can see that if you're expecting 80% of confidence interval, then margin of error will become 20%, 10% for type 1 error and 10% for type 2 error. How much error you are expecting, that is divided into two parts, as we have two different type of error in the research, type 1 and type 2. So 10% for type 1 and 10% for the uh, error type 2. And if you're expecting 90% of confidence interval, then margin of error will be 10. Here 5, here 3, here 1, here 0.1, and here 0.001, something like that. Clear? So as you will increase the confidence interval, you can see the sample size has been increased. Here we have less, then it has been increased. For example, for my PhD, I have taken a confidence interval of 97%. So for 5,000 students, if you're working on this level, then your sample size is 115. And if you're working on the 95, where most of the academic research will be held, then the sample size was found to be 94. So in this software, which formula is working behind, that we are going to see today. So what I recommend, to calculate the sample size, you can use a software called EPINFO, and under the EPINFO there is a option for the StatCal, and this particular software is accepted by most of the journal. For example, you can write on the research paper or in your thesis that sample size is calculated by EPINFO. So obviously they are not going to ask anything, that they will consider that it's a genuine software, or it will be a what we used to call that, it will be acceptable. So two different software we are using. The first one is the same, this one EPINFO, which I have just presented right now. Second is the RAISOFT. For the RAISOFT, we don't have a app, we have to work directly on the internet. That means you require an internet connection to operate that RAISOFT software. So what I'll do, I'll take you to the main screen. I'll stop my presentation and I'll share my whole screen so that it will be visible to you. So for that, what you have to do, you have to open a website called RAISOFT. This is the website. You can type on the Google that sample size calculation by RAISOFT, and this is also accepted by most of the journal. Either, see, no need to go for both. If you are calculating the sample size for your study, then either go for EPINFO or either go for the this RAISOFT. Or third method is the manual calculation, which I'm going to teach you today. This is so here also you are going to get the same thing. For example, you can see four things will be asked by the software, this calculator. That first thing is the same, that what will be the population size. So if you don't know the population size, that how much is the population in that area where you want to work, so you can use 20,000. So whenever you will open the software, it will remain default. You are going to get 95 as a confidence interval. Margin of error will be 5% automatically. And if you don't know that what is the population of that particular area where you are working, then it will remain 20,000. And this is the expected frequency, that what is the distribution. Sorry, I have lost the connection. Just wait, let me share again. Yes, it's visible. Let me check. There was a power cut. Yes, it's working. Right. So, yeah, this was, I was discussing that software is going to ask that what is the population size, then what is the confidence interval of your study. Obviously, for example, I will make this one as a 97%, and population of Mocha, for example, we have 1 lakh, and margin of error, it is going to be changed, it will be 3%, and this is the response distribution. Now, if you don't know that what is the response of your study, then you can leave this one as a 50%. Now, what is it means? It means that either your data is normally distributed, that maximum percentage of your population belongs to what area of the curve under the normal distribution. That means, for example, if you have got a skewness in your data, then you have to see that you have, for example, you have a 100 participants in your study. So out of that 100, maximum population belongs to what under the normal distribution curve, or you have got a skewness either on the left side or either on the right side. For example, if maximum population is under the bell shaped curve, so you have to keep this one as a 50% only. So you have to find out that where the maximum population falls under the normal distribution curve, either on the bell-shaped curve. If it is, then you can keep this one as a 50%. If you have a skewness either on the positive side or either on the negative side, then you can change. For example, you can make it to 25 or 40, whatever the curve says, whatever the test for the normality distribution says, according to that, this one you can change. And if you have not bothered about the normal distribution, then what you can do, you can leave this one as a 50%. So, for example, what response we have got, the sample size was found to be 1292. What it means, for a population of 1 lakh, when the confidence interval is 97% and margin of error is 3%, and this one you can say it is a expected frequency, that maximum population belongs to under the curve. Clear? So how much is the sample size? It is 1912. And if I will make this one as a 95%, so obviously number is going to reduce. It will be somehow less than 1200. Margin of error will become 95, and you can see now it is 383. Now see how much is the difference for 95 confidence interval and 5% margin of error that you are expecting in the research. The sample size was found to be 383, but the same time it is going to give you for the different confidence interval. For example, on this side you can see, if you are using a confidence interval of 90, then population size is 270. For 95 it is 383, but for 99 it is 660. So this is the another software which I recommend to use, and I'll just let you know for 5,000 how much it will be. If you'll add that 5,000 is the population size and 95% is the confidence interval and 5% is the chances of error, then sample size is 357. And you can see, for as I will reduce the confidence intervals, the sample size is going to reduce. For 90% is 257, for 95 is 357, and for 99 it's 586. So this two software you can use either for the EPINFO or either the RAISOFT for the surveys, for the population surveys. And for other options, I'll take you to the one research paper which I'm using for myself. I'll just change the screen and I'll open the PDF. Just wait. I'm using a research paper which is written by an author in 1980s. Then paper has been written again, and the author was from University of Florida. Let me open the document. Just wait. So I'll also recommend you to go for this particular publication. I'm going to send you, and you can see this paper is having more than 17,000 citation. If you look at the Google or somewhere other document, that how to calculate the sample size or determining the sample size. Now this paper gives you what? Just let you know. Yeah, you can see on the screen. It is going to give the definition of sample size, what the confidence level means, and it is going to give you that 95 is the one which is most common, which will be made used by the researcher, and if any disease there where maximum risk is there, so their confidence interval will be taken as a 99%. So I'll just take you to the main content, that this is the normal distribution population mean, and 95% why we are taking, that means we are working on this area. And you can see the two black spot on left hand side, on right hand side, so this will be considered as 2.5%. that means with 2 standard deviation. That means any data which you have entered for the observation and you have calculated the standard deviation, so data above the standard deviation 2 will be considered as a outlier. You are not going to take that particular sample for the statistical analysis. So any data which is having a SD within 2, either -2 or either +2, that you are going to consider a 95% mean it is. So you are working on this area, and where 2 spots you are getting left hand side or right hand side, this will be considered as a margin of error, 2.5% for left side and 2.5% for the right side, and it will be equivalent to 5. So 5 plus 95 both will be considered as 100. The software is going to give you, this particular paper is going to give you a chart. This chart I'm going I used to refer, that I used to get a call, multiple call, that I want to find out the sample size for my study, and so what you recommend. So I first thing which I used to ask, that what was the population size of your area, that where you want to work. For example, that 5,000 is the population size where we want to work. So you can see on the top we have a 3% plus minus margin of error 5%, and if you're working on this 5%, it means we are considering a 95% of confidence interval, and if I'm working on 3%, it means I'm considering 97% as a confidence interval, and if I'm working on plus minus 7% margin of error, then it means I'm working on a 93% of confidence interval, and 10%, it means we have a 90% of confidence interval and margin of error is 10%. So you can calculate for the population of 5,000, if we are working on 5%, 5% of margin of error and 95 with the confidence interval, so sample size was found to be 370. So here I used to look that what was the sample size. So this table will give you an answer for the population up to from 500 to more than 1 lakh, or 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, all you can include. For a population where population size is less than 500, a separate table will be given, and this calculation which has been done, where you are finding that all the numbers, this has been calculated by using a formula given by Yamne et al. In 1967. So this is the formula, and not is equal to z square pq divided by e2. So I'll let you know what it means. So what formula which we have to add in the thesis, I recommend to go for this one. I used to add this particular formula. So this is what 1.96. It is the same which standard label we are considering for kurtosis, that minus 1.96 to plus 1.96. And on the same time, you are going to get a second table which will give you the sample size from 100 to 450. So for population size 100 to 450, you can use the table number 2. And if your population size is more than 500, then you can go for this particular table where it has been given 500 to more than 1 lakh. So any city whose population is more than 1 lakh, for example, 3.5 lakh, 6.7 lakh, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, you are going to refer this particular line. That for 5% confidence interval, sample size was found to be 400. So how these numbers has been calculated? It has been calculated because of this particular formula. Now you can see that in what we have in equation, n naught is the sample size, z square is the abscissa of the normal curve, that cut of an area alpha tail 1 minus alpha. So 1 minus alpha means what? 1 minus alpha means this particular area. See, two type of error we are having in research. Type 1 error will be called as alpha type. So alpha minus 1, we are talking about this particular area. Clear? And which is equivalent to, for example, 95%. And E is the desired level of precision. So, and P is the estimated proportion of the attribute that is going to present the population. And Q is 1 minus P. 1 minus P, that means P will be the 0.05. For example, if you are considering 95% of confidence interval, then P will remain as a 0.05. If you are considering 94% of confidence interval, then P is going to change 0.04. So according to that, you have to calculate. So you can see one example has been quoted here against the formula, that Z square was found to be 1.96 and 0.5 is this P, and this is the E square, that 0.05, which used to consider as a all the level P value standard level for the statistical test. For example, whenever we have applied the chi-square or ANOVA, Mankova or independent, we used to compare. We used to call that our test was found significant if P value was found less than 0.05. So that is the same standard. As you will choose that my confidence interval is 95 and I'm working on this margin of error is 5%. So P is going to be set as a default 0.05 for the statistical test as well as for the sample size calculation. And if you proceed with the formula, you can find that sample size was found to be 385. Two formula will be given. This I have added in my thesis. N is equal to n naught divided by 1 plus in the bracket n naught minus 1 divided by n. So this is the one which I have used for my thesis. I have not used this one which is given on the top. This is mainly pharmacological person, the person who is working on animal where they don't have an idea about this size of population, where you know that what was the size of population and you have an idea about the capital N. For that, we are using this particular formula because we have a capital N. Where you don't have any idea about capital N, then you can use this particular formula. And mainly pharmacological person, those who want to work on animals, they used to refer this particular formula for the sample size calculations, where N is already quoted by the researchers. There we are using this formula, and you can write on the thesis that formula was given by Yamne et al. 1967. You have to quote this author, Yamne et al. 1967. So what we used to do, now you can see on this formula what we have. N we are going to calculate. The N is the sample size is equal to N naught. Now this is what N naught. N naught we are going to take from the previous studies. For example, you have to refer 2 or 3 different study. You have to calculate the mean. That, for example, I have referred a study where the same study has been conducted on the same area, on the same field, but might be area is different. So I'll take the sample size of their study. Might be it can be 3 study or 4 study or 5 study. So after that we have to calculate the mean. So that mean will be considered as a n naught. So for example, n naught was found to be 385. So this 385 from where I have got? I have referred a previous research paper, might be 3 paper or 4 paper. So from each paper I have taken a sample size, that what sample size they have used in their research. So I have taken the sum of 3 or 4 study divided by number of study. I have got a number of n naught. So we have got n naught divided by 1 plus 385 minus 1 divided by 2000. So 2000 is the population size of my study. For example, I want to find out that what will be the sample size for the study where population size is 2000. So what I'll do, I'll find the similar study which has been conducted already. Might be I'm going to find 1, or might be I'm going to find 3 or 5. If I have got one study only, so I'll see that what sample size they have used. So that will be considered as n naught. If not, then I'll take the mean of 4 or 5 study, that will be considered as n naught. So you can proceed 1 plus n naught minus 1 divided by 2000. You are going to get a number. You are going to calculate the sample size. So for most of the observational studies or the proportional studies, we are using this particular formula, which is given as a equation 3. This is the one. So either you can quote in your thesis or in your research paper that sample size has been calculated by the formula given by Yamne et al. You can quote this particular formula where n is given. If n is not given, then you can go for this one. N naught is equal to z square pq divided by e square. But e square, what you want to keep? This should be changed. You want to keep 0.05, the cutoff point for your research, for your statistical test. If you have taken 95% as a confidence interval, if you have taken 94, so it will be 0.06. So both should be equivalent to 100. So this can be used. Or if you don't want to do calculation, then you can refer these two tables where populations already has been mentioned, that from 100 to 450 and from 500 to more than 1 lakh. So most of the persons will fall. For example, if you want to work in a smaller area, like a student of the college or the employee of the company, or any other where capital N is limited number, then you have to go for this table 2. You have to find out that how many employees are there in company. If 225 employees are there and you want to work on 5%, then sample size is 114. And if 300 employees are there and you want to keep 95% as a confidence interval and 5% chances of error, then sample size is 172. This one, 172. This can be taken. So this will be used. I'll recommend to go for this particular paper. And this is the simplified formula of the Yamne et al. 1967. A simplified formula of the equation 3 only. What they did, instead of n naught minus 1 divided by n, they have added a e square. E square, that is the precision and that probability, that 0.05 which cutoff point which we are taking. And you can see also what they did. This is the another formula given by Yamne et al., but is more simplified, where they have used the p-value, which will be considered as e square for the assumptions. That means you have already assumed that 95% is the confidence interval of your study, and p-value for the statistical test will remain 0.05. So what the formula says, you can see Yamne et al. In 1967 provide a simplified formula to calculate the sample size. This formula is used to calculate the sample size in table 2 or 3. That means whatever the you're seeing the numbers these which has been calculated in table 2 or table 3, that has been calculated by using this formula. So if you want to quote that my confidence interval is 95% and I'm taking precision of estimate or my probability as 0.05, then you can go for this one. Here also you are using a capital N, but you are not using N naught, where these 385 we have used from the previous studies. So N naught you're not going to use. What you're going to do, instead of N naught, you're going to use a P value, that is the standard for your cutoff point. So you can see what we have in formula. Small n is the sample size which you're going to calculate, n is the population size, and E is the level of precision. That means how much error you are expecting in the research and what are the confidence interval of your point. According to that, you can choose your level of precision. If it is 93%, then chances of error is 7%, precision of level will become 0.07, like that. So formula you can see as equation 6, 2000 is the population size. The same we have kept here in the first formula, divided by 1 plus n e square. So this 0.05 which you are seeing here, this is the cutoff point, and you can see what's the difference. In one formula we have got 323, and by using second formula we have got 333. Not that much different, we are just closer to the just difference of 10 units are there between both the formula. So what I recommend, if you have n, capital N, then you can go for either more simplified formula where you are using a precision of estimate, this E square. If you don't have, then you can go for N naught. N naught should be taken from the previous studies. Either it can be single study or it can be the multiple study. Or either, if you don't have capital N, then you're not going to use these two given by Yamane et al. The equation 5 or equation 4. You have to go for the equation 2, which is mainly used for the formulations or mainly used for the animal studies where you don't have this capital N. So this can be used. N naught is equal to Z square PQ divided by E square. But here also you are using a precision of estimates that 0.05 will be the cutoff point for all the statistical tests which you are going to apply. So this is the one paper which I am using for myself, and if you want to read further, you can go for this references. You are going to get another paper. Actually, this paper was published in 1980s, and whatever you are seeing right now, it is the re-edition. That means this paper is having so much citation. So what University of Florida did, they have again launched this particular paper in 2016. Might be you are going to get, for example, if you write determination of sample size by Glenn D. Israel. So you are going to get a 2 document. One, this which you are seeing, this blue color document, blue and black. One you are going to find which has been typed with a typewriter. So that was the previous version, and this was the new version. Again, paper has been released by the University of Florida because the paper was having so much of citations. So this paper you can refer for the calculation. For all the 3 I have mentioned to you, that you can use either table 1 or table 2. If you don't want to do the calculation directly, you can refer if you know what was the capital N of your study and what was the margin of error, what you're expecting, you are going to get a number. So this table can be added in the thesis as a reference, that how you have chosen the sample size for your work. If not, this will be used. The Cochrane 1963 will be for the animal studies, where you don't require a capital N. This one. and where you have a capital N and you don't want to keep 0.05 on as a precision of estimate, then you can go for this, which I have also kept for my thesis, where we are using a n naught. So this n naught will be the sample size of previous studies. It can be mean or it can be the single study, but you have to quote that n naught was taken from the study conducted by, you have to quote the reference of so and so. And if you have a capital N and you want to keep as a precision of estimate in the formula, then you can go for this, which is most widely used by most of the researchers. For example, if I'm going to refer a 10 PhD thesis or 10 master thesis, I'm going to find that 7% have used a Yamane et al. 1967, this particular formula for the sample size calculation. So just type in a Google, you are going to get this document. Just remember the name of the author, that determination of sample size by Glenn D. Israel, written in. It's not published in any research journal. It was given by the newsletter of University of Florida, but it's available on internet. You are going to find it. So this was the three different methods which I was using for myself. Either directly go for an EPINFO. Second option we have for the RAISOFT, and third option by using the manual calculation through three different formulas. One for animal studies or formulations. Second, where we have capital N, but we don't want to keep precision of estimate. Instead of that, we have to use the N naught, the previous studies sample size. And if we don't have the previous study sample size, then and we have the number of n, capital N, then by using the precision of estimate, we can calculate the sample size of our study. So whatever the two or three example you have seen here, in all the example, the author has written a confidence interval of 95%, because 0.05 has been mentioned at the bottom. And if your study is having a different confidence interval, then cutoff point for the p, or the for the probability or precision of estimate, it will be different. It can be 0.03, 0.04, 0.01. For example, any pharmaceutical company who want to find out the sample size for their clinical trial, so this 0.05 will be 0.001, because they want to expect a least chances of error in their research. So it will be 0.001 in both the formula, first and in third. E square will be 0.001 for clinical trials. So this you can use, what I recommend. And third thing which I just want to show is I just want to introduce one website called Typeset, which I am using for myself. Now, what is that? This is a website which will make your work easy, and you don't have to study the guidelines while making the thesis. You don't have to study the guidelines while making the review article or the research article which has been quoted by uh, as a author instructions. Just give me 30 seconds. I'm going to switch the internet because I'm working with a hotspot, because there was no electricity. Now I have got the internet connection, so I'll just change the connection and I'll be back. Just wait. Yes. I'm back, right? So what I was discussing, let me share the screen again. Let me check it's visible or not. Yeah, it's working. So let me hide. Yeah, this is the name of the website, Typeset. If you go to the main page, you are going to get a one window for a login. I have already logged in because it's my own account, and you can see the different changes are there, and I can upgrade the account. This is my profile. Even you can work as a team and already log in. So name of the website is not visible, but I'll just let you know it has been written typeset.io. I'll just take you back so that you are able to see this main icon, main screen. Already logged in. Just you can type it on Google, that typeset.io. You will be directed to the main page, this one, and if you have logged in once, it will be logged in only. So we'll not bother that thing. I'll let you know for what purpose I'm using and what was the use. This document or website will help you out. First of all, there is a limit. So how to take the benefit of that unit, what I'm using, I will let you know those things. This particular website will convert your manuscript or your Word document into another document which will be as per the guidelines of the journal. That means, for example, if you're referring a particular journal, so that particular document will be converted as per the guidelines of that particular journal. So this is the all document or the publication which I have made. You can see that therapeutic efficacy of natural alkaloids, Kerala flood, world biggest health reform. This I was writing in 2020. So if I click the document, you are going to get a setup page. So on the setup page, you have to enter a few things which will be asked by the website. That means it will be something like an editor. So you can see that I have exhausted all my limits. So what you can do, if you have a 2 or 3 different Gmail accounts, with one particular account you can make 5 or 6 document. After that it will ask you to pay. You can create another account, then you can use another 5 or 6 manuscripts. So like this, you don't have to pay. You can work without paying. Or if you're feeling that this particular website is really working for you and you can take the benefit of this one, you can upgrade your account also. So I don't want to upgrade. I will let you know what was the benefit, and it might be on the behind you can see that how the document has been changed. For example, the this one, so website will ask you to write multiple things. For example, first of all, you have to select the journal, that in which journal you want to publish. So for that, what you have to do, you have to click on the new document. You can upload the whole document or you can write it here. So click on the blank, or you can go as a template which is already there on the website. So anywhere you can go as you wish. At this side you are going to see the all well-known publishers. For example, IEEE, Elsewhere, Springer, Wiley, Taylor and Francis, Sage, Nature, and here you can type here name of the journal. For example, I want to publish on International Journal of Clinical Practice. Okay, so it is going to give you that here is the journal which I was looking, that Wiley is the company. So I'll click on International Journal of Clinical Practice. So it is showing that 966 researchers are there, those who were using this particular template. So whatever you are seeing right now here, this is the example of the manuscript which will be given by the International Journal of Clinical Practice, that how we want the manuscript, that if diagram is there, then diagram should be added at the last or within the text, or you have to keep first text first, then all the table and all the figures will be kept at the end, or you have to give a separate file for the figure, separate file for the tables, or what will be the font style, what will be the font number, how you are going to write the reference, either in the square bracket or either in the superscript, like this. If two references are there, we have to put a comma or we have to write a bracket in between. What are the different guidelines are there, so you don't have to bother. You can see the example also here, that how you should make the manuscript for the journal, as well as you can see that journal wants a line on the top and page number should be written on the top, not at the bottom, something like that. Different guidelines each journal is having. So what you can do, you can click on use this template as a blank document, or you can upload a document. So what you have to do, you have to just make a simple document where you can write the abstract, you can write the keywords, title of your work, name of the authors, and introduction, material and method, result, discussion, conclusion, and references. So that file will be uploaded. The software is going to change everything. If not, you want to write here also. So this is the journal's guidelines, that what will be the content. You should write the abstract, you should write the introduction. They don't they want results, discussion, and conclusion are not in a single paragraph. That means some journal used to say that discussion and conclusion will be a single point only, and some used to ask that you provide discussion separately and conclusion separately, something like that. And some journal used to say that result and discussion should be a single chapter, whereas this is recommending that result should be separate, discussion should be separate, and conclusion should be separate. So what you can do, and under the abstract, what you want to write. So first here, just write that what is the title of your work. So title of my work, for example, is observational study on diabetes. Here, and I'm going to write the abstract here. For example, something we have written like this. Anything I'm writing, we have written the abstract. Then it will ask you to write the introduction. So as you click introduction, here introduction word will come, and then you can start writing the introduction here. Or what you can do, you can type, you can cut and copy paste from your main document to here. For example, we have something, and we can cut copy paste from that document to here. Introduction we have written. Then it will ask you to write the results. We will write the results like this. Then acknowledgement we want afterward. Before that, we want to write the discussion. Then conclusion we want to write. We'll copy and paste conclusion. And if any section we want to add, we can add further more section. For example, method is missing or methodology is missing, so we can add in between. So once you will add all, then it will ask you to add the authors. So as you click on the author, you have to add author. So names given. So I'll write my name is Amit, surname is Sharma, my email is choice.amit@gmail.com, degree is MPharm PhD. If bibliography is there, we can add the bibliography also. We working as and so. Affiliations, how much, where I'm working is ISF, College of Pharmacy, Department Pharmacy Practice. Address will not write. We'll just write city is Mocha, state is Punjab, country is India. Facts we are not using. Phone number, right? Postal code, like this. So these things will be added. Say, or if you have another affiliation of the same author, you can add one more. For example, PhD research scholar are having a mostly two different affiliation from where they are doing a PhD and from where they are working. So both can be added, and the journal needs the photo to upload. That the photo of the author they also need. So like this, you can add the journal. If you see, this is the detail of first author, and if you want to add co-author, then you can add a co-author also. So like this, all the author can be entered. Afterward, it will ask you to add the keywords of your journal. So keywords we can write that what is the keywords of, for example, these are the keywords. Just I have written anything like this only. So that has been added. So once you have done the everything and you are ready with your manuscript, what you can do, you can go for the export. So what it means, now file we have here, you can copy this file as a PDF. You can take the latex file also, zip also, you can create the document. And if you pay for that, you can generate the plagiarism report given by the Turnitin. And from here also you can submit to the journal. You don't have to go to the journal's website. So this document will be converted into journal's guidelines. Okay, whatever the new document which you are, see, I'm not able to see the preview. What I'll do, I'll change my account so that this preview window is not visible right now because I have exhausted all my limits. So what you can do, you can create a new account, or what I'll do, I'll log in with another account so that it will be visible to you, so that you can see that what type of changes we used to get. I'll use my college email address. Just wait. If not, if I don't have login from this particular account, yeah, I have a login and I have used a few documents here. And if I'll go to this particular document which I have already made, this is the window where we used to get the formatting. See, I have added a few things, like dry utilization study, abstract and everything. And this you can see how title will be written. Second author is first author with the name of the author, there will be a star. Abstract will be written between two lines, and I have written just only one line of abstract, so one line has been mentioned here. Clear? Then after that, automatically keywords has been written, and you can see the keywords, that particular word is given in italic, and all the affiliation which will be added on the top. That means some journal says write the qualification of the author. Some journals don't want the qualification, they need surname first and main name afterwards. Like this, different changes are there. So at the end, you are going to meet with a document like this. So you don't have to bother, just write your whole manuscript in a simple MS Word. Then come to this website and create a document like this, because this website is going to give you only few documents for free to download. After that, you have to pay. So even in the whatever the 6 or 7 document they are giving as a free to download, that is also having a word limit. For example, you cannot generate the document having more than 2000 or 3000 words. So how I'm using, what I need exactly, I need the basic template of the document. After that, I can edit everything. So what I used to do, I used to add all the necessary headings of my research paper or review paper. For example, my paper is having these 10 different sets. For example, the first one is the abstract, second one is the introduction, and after that I need a methodology, I have not added. Then third is result, then discussion, conclusion. Yeah, methods we have here point number 5, I need the list of abbreviation, availability of data, completing interest, funding, author. So these are the points what I need. So I will add all. After adding all, I will just download the document. So once I'll download the document, the remaining data, for example, in the introduction, in the abstract, I have written only one line. So remaining part, just add one line of each part in the document and download the MS Word file. So once you will got the MS Word file, you are going to get a basic template. So remaining part of abstract, you can see that I have added only one line, and here also I'm getting a one line. So remaining part I'm going to add after downloading the document. So once I will paste the remaining part, my computer will used to ask me that I want to keep the same format or what. So use that particular option, that keep the formatting of the file or of the particular document. So the remaining part of the abstract which you are going to add here, 10 lines or 15 different lines, it will be similar to this line which has been already added. So you are going to find that what was the font style journal have used, these two lines will be there, how the author should be written, and numbering, line numbering, whatever the journal is given is writing, it is going to increase as you will add the remaining part of your document. And you can see that on the first page at the bottom, detail of the corresponding author should be written. So we used to write detail of corresponding author where? At the top here, somewhere here. Okay, after writing the affiliation of all the author, then we used to write the corresponding author here. But as per the general guidelines, the detail of corresponding author should be written at the bottom after a line, and date should be mentioned, that July 4 2021, on which day you have written. That was the as per guidelines of the journal where we have published. Now suppose, now this is the guidelines which you are seeing right now, it is for the International Journal of Pharmaceutics. I have communicated my paper to International Journal of Pharmaceutics. Now suppose paper has been reverted back or paper has been rejected due to XYZ reason, and now I want to publish my paper in another journal, but that new journal belongs to some other company, it is not belongs to elsewhere, now it belongs to Ville. So Ville and elsewhere is having a guidelines totally different. So I don't have to work a lot while changing the everything about the document. So what I'll do, I'll just go to change template. So same document, then I'll add that what to which journal I want to go. I'll go for Ville. Then all the Ville journal I'm going to find here. For example, I want to go for this clinical genetics. So use this format. So that particular document is going to be converted into the guidelines of this. Now you can see this has been converted into the guidelines of this one, and this is the output where you can download. So once everything is ready, for example, now you can see what is the difference of previous format and this format. In this previous format was not writing the name of author in bold, and they were using a star, but here I have got a star as well as even the cross mark. Abstract somehow similar format, but writing style, we don't have the line numbering in this general format, Ville clinical genetics, but all the content, introduction, result, discussion, conclusion, methodology is having a numbering 1 2 3 4, and detail of corresponding author, just email address, not all detail, just the email of each author is there, that's it. Page numbering should be, for first page it should be on the center and at the bottom, and from the second page it should be on the top and right hand side, like this. So different format we are having. So once your document is ready, something like this, I have got a template. What I can do, just go to document, This you can download the PDF, you can download the MS Office document, latex file, all these formats are there. So go for doc. It will ask you to the same copy of the same will be downloaded, and in that particular file you can do the remaining uh, editing whatever you require. But just not only the making the manuscript, the website will help you to do the spell check that you can. I have switched off this one right now, but you can click on this particular option called spell. So whatever the spelling mistake, wherever you are having a software is showing an error to you, there you can click, you are going to get that either you did the spelling mistake or what. First of all, you have to choose the type of English that you are going to go for, American, or you want to go for the UK style, that United Kingdom and United States, two different English formats are there. According to that, you have to choose. Then, so whenever you are creating an account, that time the company used to ask that which English you want to refer. So according to that, this is because of this we are getting errors and all. So once you will add the document, the same time you can cite. For example, here I have finished with something, and here I want to cite a figure. So I can write here by clicking cite by clicking a figure in the sidebar. So you can create that citation of the figure. That how, see, figure I have to import the figure I want to cite here. So that figure will be shown here. So I have to click on that particular figure, that which figure I want to cite at this particular site link which I have generated right now, this one. So that figure will be cited. The first figure you are going to add, it will be written as figure 1, figure 2, then after that figure 2, figure 3, figure 4. On the same time, you can add the tables also. You can cite figure, you can cite table, you can cite authors. For example, you require a author PDF copy of the document, as you require in case of EndNote and as you require in case of Mendeley. So the PDF document you are having, you can cite that particular research paper or the review paper while writing your thesis or while writing your research. So for citation also you can use for the paragraph that now this paragraph means what. I have shown my PhD thesis to you, and in that you might be have seen that in each chapter I was having a numbering. So first numbering will be called main chapter, then after that we have a sentence case, after that we have a title case. According to that, sub heading will be there. So these are the for example, I have written introduction, and under the introduction I want to write 1.1. So I'll go to paragraph and I'll click on this, that I'm going to get a 1.1. And after that I want further document in 3 digits. So I can go for paragraph and I'll go for 3 digits. I'm going to get a 111. So you can see introduction is 1. Then under the introduction I'll write diabetes. In 1.1 I'll write types of diabetes. Clear? So like this you can make the numbering also from the paragraph. It will go to further options. You can add the bibliography. Now the main thing which will be most of the authors are worried that what will be the referencing style. So what you have to do, you have to just attach the PDF copy of the research paper, of the review paper which you are citing in that particular paper. So references will be written as per the journal's guidelines. You don't have to bother. So for that, what you have to do, journal style you have to refer. For example, it is going to give you the different style. For example, you are working for BMC journal, so you can apply that one. Or you are working for Ville, you can go for Ville. If you're going for elsewhere, that you want to find that your journal belongs to which company. Either it is your Ville, IEEE, Taylor and Francis, Sage, BMC, what. So according to that you can go for that, or even journal by journal also you can find. So they have a, see, near about 22,408 different formats. Now I'll let you know that Punjab Technical University, just fine, you can see here the IK Gujarat, Punjab Technical University, what the university says, whatever the referencing style university have quoted, that the writing style of your thesis, or the referencing style in your thesis should be what. So you can just click this one, you are going to get. Or you can go for any particular journal, just recommend me any journal, those who are online. So I'll just try to find out that how to find the particular for a university. For example, any one of you is doing a PhD in any university, you can find the thesis guidelines. So that will be according to that particular. For example, I write Delhi University drug style. See, few things we used to get. Actually, if any person have already worked on that particular journal or that particular website, that you are going to find. I'll just look for my university. See, I'm going to find a Uttarakhand Technical University style. Even not for the referencing, even for that particular, for example, you are writing a thesis and you want to write, you want to find out that what was your university guidelines. So what you'll do, go to blank, new document, and look for the referencing style. I'll go for not untitled document. I'll change the templates. I want to go for Uttarakhand Technical University. See, IK Gujarat, we are getting Uttarakhand Technical University also. If I click this, so this is a thesis format for Uttarakhand Technical University. Clear? And publisher, who is the publisher? Uttarakhand Technical University has submitted the guidelines to typeset, or if university are not submitted, the person, those who are working for the typeset, they have found the guidelines of the thesis from the website of Uttarakhand Technical University, and they have added in their database. That they have made a one template, and that template has been added. So you can go for this, and even you can see here you are going to find that what will be the format of the thesis, how you are going to write that, how you have to write the title on the top, then a thesis submitted to impartial fulfillment requirement for the degree of computer science of the department by name should be written like this. Under the, if two or, see here you have a two different supervisor. So if two different supervisors are there, both should be written here, just name of the supervisors, no need to write their affiliation, their designation and everything. Then logo will be there, then faculty of Department of Chemistry, Science, or whatever, Uttarakhand Technical University is, you have to write in the bracket a state government university Dehradun, and when you have submitted like this, and what will be the certificates which you have to add. So formatting of sub certificate, how you have to add the abstract, how you are going to add the acknowledgement, then what will be the content, formatting of content will be like this, that which chapter you have to add. For example, you can see from certificate to list of figure, all the page number are given in Roman. The numeric page number exact 1 2 3 4 which you used to write for English, that should started from the page number 1, from the page number of 1 of introduction. Before that, whatever the page has been written, that should be written in terms of Romans. That we are going to do, how to add the list of tables, list of figure. Then what will be the formatting style of chapter 1? You should write on the top chapter 1 and name of the chapter, introduction. That now what will be the font style and what is the font size of this introduction and chapter. This you have to find out from your thesis guidelines, which university has given more than 100 pages. So you don't have to bother, you don't have to read those 100 pages. Just go to this website, download the template, and start making your thesis. Your work will be easy. See, table format will be APA. Okay, how table should be added in the thesis? It should be in the APA, because we don't have the column and we don't have the rows. We have just only top row and the bottom rows of the tables. So table in APA format. Chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 5, just a template will be there, and you bothered about the content, what they have written, and what will be the referencing style. Yeah, in my PhD, this is the reference style. I am sure about this thing, because volume and page number, I have to write the PP there, where my mouse is there, that VOL dot, volume of VOL dot, an exact word called issue I have to write. And this format I didn't find any, either in Mendeley or either in the EndNote. So what finally I did, I made a separate new formatting referencing style, and I have added in the Mendeley. So any person who want to use afterward, they can find the referencing style of Uttarakhand Technical University in the Mendeley. They are going to find. So I have made, and after making, I have added in the depository of Mendeley. So any person who want to use further, they can use, because this formatting I was not getting. I was getting a somehow similar, but not the one which university has recommended, because university want year of the publication after the name of the author, and this word called volume and word called issue and word called PP, page number, should be written at the end of each reference. This I was not getting in any referencing style which was used in different countries or in different publication house. So what I did, I made a separate one as per the university guidelines. So like this, you can find out not only the university, you are going to find for the journals, you are going to find for the books, publication house. For example, if I write Nirali publications, if it is known, we are going to find. If it is known, then we will not find. Actually, we are not finding. Any one of you who want to recommend anything so that I can find online, just let me know. Yes, please. You can, yeah, IKGPTO style. Yeah, I have already shown that is visible. No problem. Any other person? I'm going to switch off the recording, because I think most